At the 2013 NHL Draft, the Vancouver Canucks traded Cory Schneider to the New Jersey Devils for the 9th overall pick. Now that is right, I'm doing a scenario in which the Vancouver Canucks never traded Cory Schneider. And honestly, this would help them out tremendously. It hasn't benefited New Jersey so much, but seeing Cory Schneider there at 90 overall, only at 29 years old, it's such a benefit to have an elite goalie on your team. And the fact that they traded him only for a 9th overall pick, the Vancouver Canucks got absolutely robbed with that pick. I did move Bo Horvat over to the New Jersey Devils, and we'll take a look at the Vancouver lines. I didn't select New Jersey, so I can't look at their lines, although I probably should have, but it's no biggie. Taking a look at the goalie, you got Ryan Miller as the backup there. I think that actually fits really well, because he's getting older, and yeah, the contract that he's signed to right now isn't a backup contract, and the contract that Schneider signed to, yeah, that wouldn't work for having both of them there, but in this scenario, we're just going to have to pretend like Ryan Miller doesn't exist. So we're going to go ahead and simulate the season here. Then we'll take a look at how the teams did and all their stats, including Bo Horvat's stats on New Jersey. Now, this trade, when I heard about it, to me, it didn't really sound that good, because I'm not a Vancouver Canucks fan. I don't know too much about the Vancouver Canucks franchise. I just know that they had Henrik and Danielson. That's basically my knowledge of the Canucks at that point. I didn't concern myself really with the entire league as much as I do now. Like, I know so much more about every team than I did 3 years ago. And when I heard Cory Schneider was traded from the 9th overall pick, I said, oh, that's good for Vancouver, because I still had Luongo. And that kind of solved their goalie situation. But, I mean, at that point, you had a 26-year-old Cory Schneider and, what, a 34-year-old Roberto Luongo? So it's not like it was a great trade, even at the time. Not even expecting Cory Schneider to become the goalie that he has, even though he showed glimmers of it when he was in Vancouver. And then, like I said, when I heard it, I was like, oh, that solves their solution, or their situation there. And seeing Bo Horvat get picked, there were several players better that were still on the board, one of which is part of my favorite team's franchise, Anthony Mantha. There was also, oh God, I can't remember who was still left on the board, but I looked back at this when I was thinking about the scenarios. There were 3 guys left, at least, that would have been better prospects. One of them, I think, was even Hunter Shinkaruk, which Vancouver ended up getting anyway, but, I mean, they don't have him now, because he's on Colorado, I believe. No, that's Grigorenko. Yeah, okay, they still have Shinkaruk then, yeah. But he was still on the board. There's a couple other people. And I don't know, I couldn't figure out why they took Bo Horvat. And it didn't, I just didn't understand it, I guess. And now really looking at it, Bo Horvat, he's going to be a good third line center, not a great second line center. I mean, now that Vancouver has traded Jared McCann, they don't really have a top 6 center of the future as far as I can tell. Bo Horvat is only going to be a second or third line center depending on how he continues to develop. I'm thinking more second line center because he'll get more time to produce and all of that now with Jared McCann gone. So, I don't know, just looking at this trade now, it looks so lopsided. And I know New Jersey has not been doing great, mostly because they're not a very good team, but they have an elite goalie there, and that really helps them out. Like, for a while this year, they were in a playoff position. They weren't like 12th in the standings, which is what I think they ended up at. I'm not too sure about that one. You guys will probably correct me. Just taking a look at Cory Schneider. He played 71 games. He's a workhorse. And that's perfect for the situation that he's in New Jersey. 2.2 goals against average, .926 save percentage. So he did very well along with 7 shutouts. And when you play 71 games to have numbers that good, you have to be a elite goalie, a top 5 goalie in the league, which Cory Schneider is. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at Bo Horvat and how he did on New Jersey. If we can go and find New Jersey there we go. Taking a look at points, Bo Horvat, where is he? Okay, so I imagine he was second or third line. So I'm going to go ahead and say third line just based on the points, because they got Travis Zajac. I'd put him on the second line. He's a better playmaker. And Adam Henrique, I'd say he's their top center. He's not as good as he is in real life in NHL 16 here, but Bo Horvat, I think he'd be a pretty good fit on New Jersey, but I don't think he would even be where he is at right now, that he is in Vancouver. And I think it's better that Vancouver got him out of any team, but to give up Cory Schneider for that, it's just not worth it. And they finished second in the Pacific Division. Let's take a look at the Metro. New Jersey just missed out on the playoffs, so you know what? They're not too far off to where they were even with Cory Schneider, so maybe they shouldn't have made that trade. I don't know. No, they definitely should have made that trade. Definitely should have made that trade. And yeah, there's the entire NHL there. And let's take a look at the playoff tree. And Vancouver's going up against Calgary. So the fact that Lou Lamoriello even got away with this trade, it absolutely amazes me. The fact that how good he is at trades is absolutely insane. And being the GM of Toronto now, I think he's going to have a very good future. He's got a great team ahead of him. So hats off to Lou Lamoriello for making this trade go through. But whoever the GM of Vancouver was, man, you fucked up. You fucked up. That's all I can say. I believe the GM of Vancouver now is Benning. Jim Benning, I believe his name is. I'm not too sure about that one. I don't know if he was the GM at that point, but... Or maybe it was Mike Gillis. Maybe he was the GM. Whoever was the GM, you screwed up. The fact that Cory Schneider now plays for New Jersey is the result of one of the most lopsided trades in NHL history. And it shows that Vancouver would be a very good team, making it to the third round in the playoffs with Cory Schneider, and Dallas ended up winning the Stanley Cup. So I feel like that's fairly realistic. I feel like they could do that in real life. They were just a little short of it. You see the Tampa Bay Lightning got to the finals there. This playoff tree actually looks fairly realistic, apart from Carolina, Arizona, and maybe Ottawa. It looks like all these teams really could make the playoffs, and I feel like that's a pretty good result. And obviously Vancouver would be in such a much better position if they still had Cory Schneider, but that's just what I think, and this is what NHL 16 thinks if Vancouver still had Cory Schneider and New Jersey Devils had Bo Horvat. But anyway, that is all for now. If you guys have any suggestions, just leave them down below. I read all the comments. I love hearing guys' suggestions. That's honestly where most of these scenarios have come from. So thank you all for that, and I'll see you next time.